If you're having problems with your apartment or house, and your landlord won't fix them, you should always keep paying the rent. You may have been told that you should stop paying rent to pressure your landlord into fixing the issue. That's not usually true. If you stop paying rent, you could be evicted. Keep paying rent. There are other ways to fix the problem. And remember, always keep receipts of your rent payments. If the case ever goes to court, you'll want a record as proof that you've been paying. If your house or apartment has a problem, tell the landlord about it over the phone, by text, email, or face-to-face. Then follow up by letter, email, or text message. Always keep a copy of your messages to your landlord. Give your landlord a reasonable amount of time to respond. A broken furnace or toilet should receive immediate attention, but loose floor tiles aren't as urgent. Ask for repairs before contacting an attorney or agency for help. Take photos of the problem conditions so you have a record. If the landlord or maintenance staff come to make repairs, cooperate and let them in. Remember, if the damage was caused by you, a member of your family, or someone you let into the house, your landlord is probably not responsible for repairing it. If the problem is serious, consider calling the local health department or city inspector. An inspector will come to document any code violations. They may order the landlord to make repairs. Your landlord is not allowed to evict you for calling a government office about a legitimate code violation. Before choosing this option, you should consider the possibility that if serious safety or health hazards are discovered, the building inspector may condemn the apartment and order all tenants to leave. It's important that you don't wait too long to make a decision about calling an inspector, but if you can, it's best to consult a lawyer to get legal advice. What if the landlord still won't make the repair after you gave him or her notice about the problem and a chance to fix it? You have a few options. When considering the following options, you can seek legal counsel. Prairie State Legal Services provides free legal assistance to low-income persons and people aged 60 and older, and may be able to advise you. If the problems are serious and the landlord doesn't act quickly, you can talk to the landlord about lowering the rent. If the landlord agrees to this, make sure you get this agreement in writing and have your landlord sign and date it. If you decide to stop paying any of the rent without the landlord's written agreement, you can be evicted. If your landlord doesn't make the repairs and the conditions are very bad, you can talk with him or her about ending your lease early. It's best to get a written agreement with your landlord to end your lease. If your landlord doesn't agree to end your lease, you can still move out early, but your landlord might sue you for the rest of the rent due under the lease. If that happens, you may need to prove to a judge that you were forced to move out because the place was unlivable. Take pictures as proof of the bad conditions. If you call the health department or city inspector, they will create a report that you can also use as proof. Give your landlord as much written notice as possible about the date of your move and keep a copy of this notice. You may be able to file a lawsuit to get your landlord to make repairs. This kind of lawsuit is usually complicated, so talk to a lawyer right away if you're considering this. If the issue is minor, like a light bulb that needs to be changed, the repair may not be the landlord's responsibility, and you should fix it at your expense. But if the law or your lease requires the landlord to make the repair, then you may be able to repair and deduct under the Residential Tenants' Right to Repair Act. Under this act, you can have required repairs made and deduct the cost from your rent. This option is very complicated. If you miss any steps or misunderstand any of the rules, you may be evicted. For a full explanation of the repair and deduct option, see the Renter's Handbook at www.pslegal.org. Do not attempt to repair and deduct without first reviewing all steps you must take to do it correctly or consulting with a lawyer. Remember, if your landlord won't fix something, 1. Keep paying the rent. 2. Give the landlord notice about the problem and a chance to make repairs. 3. Contact the local health department or city inspector. And 4. Look into other options if these don't work. Try to get legal advice about your options. For more information, read the Renter's Handbook on the Prairie State Legal Services website at www.pslegal.org or visit Illinois Legal Aid online at www.illinoislegalaid.org. If you would like legal assistance, find our local number for your county on our website and call to apply.